Long ago, in a quiet little village, there lived an old fisherman. He was nearly 70 years old. The wrinkles on his face told the story of a lifetime filled with struggle. His hands were no longer strong. His back had bent with age. But life gave him no choice except to keep working. Every single day, long before sunrise, he picked up his old fishing net and walked toward the river. If he didn't catch fish that day, there would be no food on the table that night. So despite his age, he never missed a morning. For years he had walked along the same narrow path leading to the river. He knew every turn, every stone, every hole in the road. Even in complete darkness, he could find his way without hesitation. One cold morning, thick clouds covered the sky. The moon was hidden. The village lights had gone out. The darkness was so deep that a stranger would have easily lost his way. But the old fisherman walked confidently toward the river. As he came close to the riverbank, his foot suddenly hit something. He bent down and touched it. It was an old cloth sack. Curious, he opened it. Inside were dozens of small black stones. He smiled to himself. He assumed that village children must have collected them while playing and forgotten the sack there. He looked toward the middle of the river. There was a large rock sticking out of the water. It looked like a giant bowl. Children from the village often stood on the bank and threw stones at it, trying to hit the target. Sometimes the old fisherman played the same game while waiting for fish. So he carried the sack to the riverbank and sat down. He picked up the first black stone. With all his strength, he threw it toward the river. Splash! The sound echoed through the peaceful morning. A gentle smile appeared on his face. Then he picked up another stone, and another, and another. Each splash brought him a strange sense of peace. Sometimes a stone landed perfectly on the large rock in the middle of the river. Whenever that happened, he smiled like a little child. As time passed, his thoughts slowly drifted into the past. Every stone reminded him of another chapter of his life. One stone reminded him of his childhood dreams, when he believed he could become anything. Another reminded him of his youth, when his body was strong and his future was full of possibilities. Then he remembered his uncle. Years ago, his uncle had offered to take him to the city. "There are better opportunities there," his uncle had said. "I can help you find a good job, but you must leave the village." The old fisherman had refused. He believed life would always remain the same. He never even tried. Another stone flew into the river. Now he remembered the education he had abandoned, the skills he never learned, the dreams he postponed. Another stone disappeared beneath the water. Then he remembered the opportunities that quietly passed by simply because he thought they would always return. At that moment, it no longer felt like he was throwing stones. It felt like he was throwing away pieces of his own life. Eventually, the sack became almost empty. Only one black stone remained. He held it tightly in his hand. He took a deep breath and threw it with all his remaining strength. But the very moment the stone left his hand, the first rays of the rising sun touched it. For just a second, the stone sparkled brilliantly. The old fisherman froze. His eyes widened. His heart began pounding. That wasn't an ordinary black stone. That was a rare black diamond. His hands started to shake. He looked back at the empty sack. Suddenly, he realized the horrifying truth. Every single stone he had thrown into the river had actually been a priceless black diamond. Tears filled his eyes. He whispered to himself, "If only I had known earlier, my entire life could have changed." Then he remembered. The very last diamond had landed on the large rock in the middle of the river. Without thinking twice, he jumped into the water. The current was powerful. The water was freezing cold. His old body struggled against the river, but his mind had only one thought: I have to get that diamond back. He swam with everything he had. He fought the current. He reached forward again and again, but age had already taken away his strength. Slowly, his arms became weaker. His breathing became heavier. The river pulled him deeper, and within moments, the old fisherman disappeared beneath the water forever.